Good evening, everyone, and good morning to all of you. Since it's after midnight, this is Motionless Zombie here with your WrestleMania 33 review. I'm kind of irritated right now. My head is hurting after watching that main event. In what world did Roman Reigns deserve to retire The Undertaker? What has he done in his career to retire him? Vince McMahon has such a hard on for him, it doesn't make no fucking sense. Undertaker should have retired to somebody credible, not him. But first, let me get through this shit. The kickoff show started Austin Aries versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. Aries comes out to a huge pop. The crowd didn't really pop for Neville during this intro. Neville wins with the red arrow. I thought this was a really good match. It should have been on the main card, in my opinion. Next, the Andre the Giant Battle Royale happens. The ring fills up with superstars, and as that happens, the Big Show makes his entrance. Afterwards, Braun Strowman makes his entrance. Bell rings. Strowman immediately eliminates one of the shining stars in Kalisto. All the superstars eliminate Strowman. Big Show was eliminated at one point. Ziggler eliminated Rhino. American Alpha eliminated Curtis Axel. And then American Alpha got eliminated. Breezango gets eliminated. Then Mark Henry. Ziggler eliminates TM Bean from NXT. Mojo Rawley eliminates Bo Dallas. Then he eliminates Dolph Ziggler. Titus O'Neil eliminates Luke Harper. Sami Zayn eliminates Titus O'Neil. Then Sami Zayn gets eliminated by Killian Dane from the group Sanity from NXT. Rob Gronkowski from the New England Patriots gets in the ring and tackles Jinder Mahal. Mojo eliminates Dane from Sanity. Then he eliminates Jinder for the win. So Mojo Rawley is this year's Andre the Giant Battle Royale winner. Afterwards, Rob Gronkowski from the New England Patriots come in and celebrate with Mojo. Apparently, he's one of Mojo's big fans. I thought it was a decent match and it kept me entertained. So afterwards, during the pre-show, Charlie Caruso interviews Paul Heyman. Charlie asks Heyman how many suplexes will Goldberg receive. Heyman says how many Brock decides to give him. Next, she asks him, does he have any potential clients for the future? He makes a joke about talk shows. Finally, if Brock loses, what will be the future from Lesnar? He says that won't happen. And that was it. But let me say this about Charlie Caruso. She looked so sexy last night, WrestleMania. I'll beat that pussy up. Sure as hell would. The next match on the kickoff show is Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental Championship. I liked how both Baron Corbin named his spinning backdrop move Deep Six, which is a Marilyn Manson song from the Pale Emperor album. I'm a big Marilyn Manson fan, so Baron Corbin gets cool points for me for that. Dean Ambrose win with the Dirty Deeds. It was an okay match. I wanted Corbin to win, though, but I'm still a fan of Ambrose to a certain extent, but I just wish that his character was more serious. All right. So we get to the main show, which opens up with some lame-ass singer named Tanashi singing the national anthem. I admit she got some big-ass titties, though. What am I sucking on them? But after the intro, the New Gay comes out. They comes out trying to cosplay as Final Fantasy characters, but instead they look like gay cowboy strippers. They talked, and I was hoping for a legend to come out and kick their ass, but it didn't happen. First match on the main card, Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. Shane does some headlocks at the start of the match. He does an arm drag takedown and a roll-up pin attempt afterwards. AJ looks shocked due to Shane not being an actual wrestler. AJ throws Shane out the ring, then does a baseball slide Here we go again with these technical difficulties. I hate this. Hate how Windows 10 keeps cutting out my internet. All right. So Shane hits AJ with the trash can when AJ tries to go for the coast to coast. Then Shane sets up AJ for the coast to coast. Then it connects. The ref comes to it. AJ kicks out at 2. Shane goes out the ring and takes apart one of the announce tables and put AJ on top of it. Shane climbs up on the top turnbuckle, jumps and crashes as AJ moves just in time. AJ brings Shane into the ring, goes for the phenomenal forearm. Shane counters, hits a DDT, goes for a shooting star press and misses. AJ does the phenomenal forearm and wins. Now I got to give my props to Shane McMahon for busting out wrestling moves, even though he's not actually a wrestler. But at the end, AJ Styles won, and that put a smile on my face. Now I used to watch AJ back when I used to watch TNA back between 2006 to early 2010. No, back when TNA was good. So he was one of my favorites on there. So it's nice to see him in the WWE, even though he lost to John Cena at the Royal Rumble, which pissed me off. So next match, Kevin Owens hit, and his match is next against Jericho for the United States Championship. Jericho had the countdown for his entrance and a big blow-up prop of the list of Jericho on the stage. Jericho puts Owens into the walls of Jericho early on in the match. Owens got busted open at one point in the match. Owens kicked out of a Lionsault. Owens does a wall of Jericho on Jericho, and Jericho counters. Owens get put in the walls again. Owens get the rope break. Jericho kicks out of a pop-up powerbomb. Jericho does a code breaker. Owens gets a rope break by putting his finger on the rope. Owens does a powerbomb on Jericho onto the apron, throws him back into the ring, and pins Jericho. Owens is now the United States champion. I thought this match was somewhat boring. It had a good build, and then the match just really didn't deliver. So the Fatal 4-Way match for the Raw Women's title was next, and I went to refill my drink during it and do other things. After I got resituated, I saw that Sasha was eliminated. I thought this was a regular Fatal 4-Way match and not an elimination match. Bayley and Charlotte were the only two left. Bayley retained the belt. So afterwards, we get a Hall of Fame recap. Then the class was on the stage to get honored. Kurt Angle comes out. The crowd pops and does the "You Suck" chant to the music. In my opinion, I think it's unnecessary because Angle was a heel when that was a thing. So he shouldn't be getting the "You Suck" chants to his theme. But the WWE crowd only cares about themselves and trying to get themselves over. So you know how it is. The Triple Threat Raw Tag Team Championship ladder match was next. Enzo and Cass made their entrance and do their promo. Then Cesaro, Sheamus, the Gallows, and Anderson. Then the New Day comes out. They say that the match is now a Fatal 4-Way. And the Hardy Boys come out. I popped so hard when they came out. It was just so awesome. The crowd popped big time and did delete chants. The Hardys clear the ring at the start of the match. They bring ladders into the ring, and Gallows and Anderson stop Jeff from climbing the ladder. Anderson climbs the ladder, and Cesaro comes in for the save. Big Cass stops Cesaro from getting the belts. Cass and Enzo bring in more ladders. There are two ladders side by side set up between the ring and a barricade. Cesaro does the swing at one point. Jeff Hardy gets bro kicked off the rope. Gallows get twist of fate. Anderson and Matt Hardy fight on the top of the ladder. Matt does the twist of fate off the ladder. Jeff does the swanton off a ladder on the outside onto Cesaro, who was laying on the ladder that was wedged between the ring and the barricade. Matt Hardy climbs the ladder and wins the Raw Tag Team Championships. This was by far the best moment of the night so far, and probably the best match. After that amazing moment, things go south because John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice is next. This should have been on the pre-show, in my opinion. Jerry Lawler is on commentary, replacing David Otunga. Al Roker from the Today Show is in the ring as the special ring announcer. The Miz and Maurice comes out. Maurice looked good in black with black lipstick on. Then Nikki comes out by herself. Then Cena comes out. The crowd boos and sings the John Cena Suck song. He runs awkwardly to the ring. I mean, who the fuck runs like that? Should have saw the way he ran. Looks stupid. Maurice and Nikki start the match. Maurice tagging the Miz immediately, and Nikki tags in Cena. Miz gets on the turnbuckle a few times, and the crowd pops. The Miz dominates Cena throughout the match. Then Miz does Brian kicks at one point of the match, and then gets slapped by Nikki. Nikki and Maurice is now in the ring. Nikki does a dive onto the Miz outside the ring. Back in the ring, Maurice and Miz are down, and those two clowns do their signatures on both Miz and Maurice. Then Miz gets the AA and Maurice gets the rack attack, and the ref does a double 3 count. Fuck this shit. Miz gets buried once again by Cena. All right, more technical difficulties again. For some reason, Windows 10 on here keeps cutting out my internet connection. Still can't find a problem to this. So Triple H and Rollins in the non-sanctioned matches next. Triple H and Stephanie comes out on a motorcycle with police escorts on motorcycles. The bike that Triple H came out on looked sick. That entrance was sick. Stephanie looked hot in her biker gear. Then Rollins come out with a fire torch. He holds the torch to the ramp, and then the ramp has a fire design on it. The match starts in the ring. Then they go out in the ring, then over the barricade, then back on the outside near the ring. At one point, Rollins goes for the pedigree on the announce table, but Triple H counters into the DDT. Then Triple H hit Rollins in the knee with a steel chair a couple of times. Triple H assaults Rollins' knee afterwards. Rollins does a top turnbuckle splash onto the Triple H on the outside. Rollins goes under the ring and grabs 2 chairs and a table. He sets the table up on the outside, goes to the top rope, and does a frog splash on the Triple H's back. Triple H kicks out at 2. Triple H then goes back on the offensive. He puts Rollins' leg into the chair and attempts to break Rollins' knee. Rollins gets his leg out the chair, throws it at Triple H's head, does a top rope superflex into the Falcon's Arrow. Triple H kicks out at 2. Stephanie pulls Rollins off the top rope, and Triple H puts him in a submission hold. Rollins counters, goes for a submission, but fails. Triple H does the submission on the outside. Rollins grabs a chair, and Triple H gets the sledgehammer. Rollins goes into desperation mode to avoid getting hit with the hammer, but Triple H hits a clothesline. Triple H gets the sledgehammer, but Rollins hits the enziguri. At this point, Rollins' knee is hurting. Rollins has the sledgehammer. Stephanie grabs it, and Triple H hits the pedigree, and Rollins kicks out at 2. Triple H then goes for the pedigree on the top rope. Rollins counters, hits a Phoenix splash, and Triple H kicks out at 2. Rollins goes for the pedigree. Triple H counters into the pedigree. Rollins counters. Stephanie attempts to choke Rollins. Triple H almost hits her. Rollins kicks Triple H. Then Triple H inadvertently hits Stephanie, and she goes through the table on the outside. Rollins then hits the pedigree for the win. I thought this match could have been better for a non-sanctioned match. I mean, thinking about Triple H's match with Shawn Michaels back in the day, that non-sanctioned match, but it's a different time, so not gonna really get no hardcore shit like we did back in the day. So it is what it is. Then Shitbull and a few others came out to perform, and I muted the network at that point. Excuse me. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton for the WWE titles next. Bray didn't get a special entrance, but Orton got the old school Legend Killer Air Pyro for his entrance. Orton went for RKO early at one point. At one point Bray Wyatt does his taunt on the turnbuckle where he contorts his back, and the arena went black, and there was CGI of tapeworms on the ring mat. They had like an aerial view of it. I thought that was cool. Bray Wyatt went on the offensive. Bray Wyatt does the spider pose, and cockroaches appear on the mat. Orton hits the RKO for the win. At this point, the crowd was dead. It was 15 minutes before the pay-per-view should have ended. There were still 3 more matches. Jesus Christ. Next is Goldberg versus Lesnar for the Universal Championship. Yes, folks, you heard that right. And there is 2 matches left. And this is where I got irritated, because how the blue hell does Roman Reigns get the main event over 2 legends and future Hall of Famers? Vince has gone full retard. And sure, he did. He really did. Brock comes out, and my enthusiasm for this match had dropped due to the impending doom of the main event. Then Goldberg comes out with his iconic entrance with the security guards. Goldberg got booed, and Lesnar took Goldberg to Suplex City right away. Goldberg took down Lesnar, and Lesnar gets speared. Lesnar rolled out the ring. Goldberg speared Lesnar through the barricade. Goldberg goes for the jackhammer. Lesnar counters to the F5. Goldberg counters it and hits Lesnar with the spear. Goldberg jackhammers Lesnar, and Lesnar kicks out. Goldberg goes for another spear, misses. Lesnar does some suplexes, F5, and wins the Universal Championship. I didn't have a problem with this match. I didn't care who won because I like both men. I still say this should have been the main event, but I'll get to that in a minute. The SmackDown 6-pack challenge for the Women's Championship happened. I didn't care. I was irritated about the main event. And the next match, here's the main event go. Reigns versus Taker. The New Day comes back out to announce the Citrus Bowl attendance record first, which was 75,245 people. Whatever. We had the highest in history last year when WrestleMania came to my town. So Jim Ross came out to commentate the match, and sadly Cole and JBL was still there on the commentating table. I wish it was just Jim Ross and the King on the table like old times instead of them two. Reigns' music hits and the crowd boos. And of course, Vince gave this guy pyro. You know, Vince got to give his little boy toy pyro. Reigns takes his time getting to the ring. And then apparently this match became a no disqualification match out of nowhere. Like it never was announced till tonight for some reason. Undertaker comes out and he appears from the middle of the ramp. And he still walks slow down that ramp. I mean, it took him like 5 minutes to get to the ring. He finally gets in the ring and the bell rings. Undertaker throws Reigns out the ring and yells, "My yard." Reigns walks around the ring, gets back and clotheslines Taker out the ring. Taker throws Reigns into the turnbuckle. The crowd chants, "Roman sucks." Roman does a Samoan drop. They go on the outside. Undertaker goes face first into the post and Reigns does a drive-by. Back in the ring, Taker assaults Reigns. Reigns kicks out at 2 from the big boot. The first kick out of the night right here from him. Undertaker starts to take apart the announce table. Reigns kicks Taker. Reigns tried to go for the Superman punch and gets chokeslammed onto the table. The table didn't break. Taker and Reigns get on top of one table and Roman spears Taker through the other. Reigns hurt his shoulder on that move. Reigns gets back in the ring and the crowd boos. Taker sits up and gets in the ring. Reigns does some stumps. Undertaker does a weak-looking last ride when Reigns was doing the little punches on the turnbuckle. And here's the second kick out of the night from Roman Reigns. He kicks out at 2. Taker goes out the ring, gets a chair. Taker hits Reigns with the chair a few times. Reigns hits a Superman punch. Another, then Taker chokeslams him on the chair. And he kicks out at 2 again. That makes 3. Taker tombstone him afterwards. And he fucking kicks out at 2 for the 4th fucking time. Taker goes for a tombstone. Reigns reverses. Botches a tombstone attempt. Hits a Superman punch. And Taker kicks out at 2. Reigns hits a spear. Taker does the Hell's Gate. Reigns gets to the ropes. Taker goes for the chair. Reigns puts his foot on it and hits Taker with the chair a few times. Reigns does a spear. Taker kicks out at 2. Taker gets speared again. And Taker kicks out at 2. Taker gets Superman punched. Taker tries to sit up but can't. Reigns uppercuts him a few times. Does a fucking spear and wins. And I lost my shit right there. Because how in the blue hell this motherfucker get to retire The Undertaker? What the fuck has he done in his fucking career to retire one of the greatest wrestlers in WWE history? He ain't done shit. He don't deserve that title. Vince McMahon keeps trying to push this motherfucker down everybody's throats. Everybody boos him. Nobody likes this guy. Why can't Vince understand that shit? It's fucking ridiculous. We saw this shit for 12 years with John Cena. Now we're seeing it here with Roman Reigns. Enough is enough. You see your fucking ratings are tanking. You've seen it for the past few years, and you just don't give a shit. What is it going to take for Vince McMahon to realize nobody cares about Roman Reigns? The product is tanking. The ratings are tanking. Because Vince keeps trying to do what Vince wants to do. Stop alienating your fucking fans. Nobody wants to see Roman Reigns retire The Undertaker. Nobody wants to see him, period. And of course, after the damn match, Roman Reigns gets a shitload of pyro again. The crowd is booing him. He takes his ass out the ring. Out of the fucking arena. And then we get to the shot of The Undertaker. He sits up. The crowd is chanting, "Thank you, Taker." Taker puts his jacket back on. He stands up in the middle of the ring. He takes his gloves off, sit him in the ring, his hat and his jacket. Then he goes out the ring, kisses Michelle McCool, walks up the ramp, does the American Badass pose, goes right back to the middle of the ramp, and he descends down the ramp. The lights go out, and there's two gongs. I mean, I knew The Undertaker was going to retire one day, but not like this, man. Not to a guy who don't deserve, who hasn't done anything to deserve to retire somebody of The Undertaker's caliber. Now, Brock Lesnar would have retired him. I wouldn't have minded. If Goldberg would have retired him, I wouldn't have minded it. The Rock, anybody of that stature. Roman Reigns is not on that level. He'll probably never be on that level. And then you had all these people who wanted to see John Cena versus The Undertaker. I think that would have made me even more irritated than Roman Reigns because I can't stand Cena. 12 plus years of his crap, I was irritated when he had to get that rematch with The Rock and snuff CM Punk at WrestleMania 29 at the main event. Had to get his win back against The Rock. I thought that was bullshit. But yeah, after tonight, I'll never be a Roman Reigns fan. I never will. I'm going to remember him as the guy who retired The Undertaker but didn't deserve it. But didn't deserve that right to. He's Cena 2.0. And then they want him to main event against Brock Lesnar next year. It's fucking bullshit. You know what? I hope the WWE gets a .9 rating for Raw. Sometime before football season start again, Monday Night Football, and after basketball season's over. Because I want to see what the excuses they're going to come up with. Maybe, just maybe then, hopefully NBC will get on their asses and they'll have to change their fucking shit around. Maybe start listening to the fucking fans. My head is hurting. I'm tired of talking about this shit. As far as WrestleMania as a rating, Roman Reigns brought that rating down badly. So, no, I was enjoying the first half until Cena and Nikki came out. So, I get his pay-per-view a 4 out of 10. If the Hardys didn't come back, it would have got a lower rating. So, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'll watch Raw tomorrow and do a review of that. So, everybody have a good night.